come to you from the remote A-hole chair location. We got Big Jim Murray and Matt McCarthy back in our Town Fair Tire Studios in Waltham. Hi, fellas.
Hello, Michael.
Hey, Mike.
So the format is the same. The agenda is set by your wonderful phone calls. We have already released the hounds, I assume, at 617-779-0985. As you get logged in, as you call up and get inputted into the screen, we've got to fill the time, so we do it with opening takes. And I'll go first, since I was listening to Phil Perry, and you'll hear quite a bit of Phil Perry here in the next hour as he reported from that joint practice in Minnesota yesterday. Some pretty ominous commentary on the Patriots' offensive line, not just the play of Will Campbell, but Ben Brown at guard, the whole left side, the center situation, this Bradbury who they picked up from,
Minnesota.
Basically the street. He was released by Minnesota, and he's on the street, and that's your starting center. The guard was the rookie you drafted in the 3rd round. He has flamed out. Now it's Ben Brown again, which was bad enough last year, but now we got Ben Brown back in our face. Will Campbell has been really hit or miss in training camp here at left tackle. And what did you hear that was that on that guy? 7 of 12 with 7 sacks?
Oh, yeah.
Do you hear that number?
Yeah.
7 of 12 with 7 sacks. And we're talking about Ben Brown. And we're talking about, is the right tackle even playing?
Morgan Moses was taking part in those practices yesterday, from what I read.
Okay. So,
but he was also part of the problem. So if I may just quickly, between Phil, who I love, and even so reading, the recap this morning in the Globe from Nicole Yang, we're not talking about 2 real provocateurs here. And she wrote, but there was a great catch on 4th and a million from May to Booty. The 3 plays leading up to Booty's catch: sack by Vikings defensive lineman Jonathan Allen, an easy sack by outside linebacker Dallas Turner against right tackle Morgan Moses, false start by rookie left tackle Will Campbell. As impressive as the connection was between May and Booty, the entire series seemed emblematic of a potentially growing problem for the Patriots. Again, that's not Volan right now. That's Nicole Yang. I read that this morning, and I was like, oh, geez, oh, boy.
I got to tell you, that's the only thing I've ever read from Nicole Yang. I mean, that I remember that resonates, that hit. And I read it just now in the audio form from Big Jim. So it's bad when Nicole Yang's hauling off on you.
Yeah.
So this is all a long way of saying, and this is my opening take. What a disgrace. Seriously, that the Patriots have been in this spot for 3-4 years now, where the offensive line has been just a fire drill. It's been a total mess. On the field, off the field, the personnel, the decision-making, the money spent. They've had so long. I know Mike Vrabel just got here, but I'm talking as an organization. They've had 3-4 years now. High draft picks, gobs of money, needs, and I don't know if they're any closer to figuring the thing out than they were before. And that's just a disgrace. And look, I still think the team's going to be better. I think they're going to be back into respectability. Is my expectation that between Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, and Drake May, they prop up that line. They get rid of the ball. They scheme it. They coach it up. All those things. That's still my expectation. But 3-4 years of this, we're still doing this. That is a disgrace and an indictment of the organization. Who's next?
Well, I'll go off that because in the hierarchy of things to be concerned about regarding this year's Patriots team, I know backup quarterback isn't top tier for most people or even second tier. Now, look, I get it. Offensive line, like you're talking about. I mean, that should be the top of the tier of concerns for this year's Patriots team. Their linebacker core seems thin to me. Will Drake May take to a headier offense with Josh McDaniels? But this Josh Dobbs, I'm sorry. He's a nice story. The NASA internship, cute astronaut nickname, all that. But this guy stinks. And they needed to do better here as well, especially given Drake May's penchant for running the ball when the play breaks down, and it's probably going to if the offensive line blows. And he's already shown last year that when he does put himself in danger and gets concussed or could get concussed anytime he does run. So you saw last week in the preseason game against Washington, this Dobbs can't hit the broadside of a barn. And anything written about him this summer at training camp or in these joint practices, he's missing guys left and right. I just find it annoying is all. There were better options here, even besides Joe Milton. I'd have liked someone that I know will be able to keep them afloat if May goes down for a few weeks. Joe Flacco. How about this? I don't know. Call me crazy. Could you have called up Denver and worked a trade for them to get Jarrett Stidham back here? Does Jarrett Stidham know Josh McDaniels' offense? He does. He's worked in this system. So, but then again, I don't know. Maybe that would have made Drake May a little uncomfortable or filled the runway up a little bit too much. Because remember, moving on from Joe Milton cleared the runway for Drake May, said Mike Reese of ESPN. So, I don't know. It's something that's annoyed me going into this second preseason game tomorrow because we're going to get a lot of Josh Dobbs, I'm sure, against Minnesota, and it shouldn't be him. It should be someone else.
So before Matt goes, it's fair to second guess what they could have done. Same with on the offensive line. Though the tackle group was thin, Make it not so thin. Make an offer where I don't know, maybe you have to lose the deal to fill out your depth chart. But there could have been someone there. You could have done something at guard. How about Joe Tooney? Joe Tooney can play both, and he's got short arms too, so he'd be a stopgap, but he played left tackle all the way to the Super Bowl last year, where he was exposed, no doubt about it, but he got there. And talk about a guy who's got flexibility, experience in the system, winning pedigree. That would have been a nice guy. He went to Chicago, right?
Correct, yes, with the Bears.
So he was there. There were moves like that to be made. Instead, we're talking about Ben Brown again. That's a disgrace. Kevin back at home, would you do me a favor and reset the board so I can see the names? We'll go to the calls right after Matt McCarthy gives you his opening take. Go ahead, Matt.
I thought that was a very uplifting first 10 minutes of the program. By the way, I don't disagree with either of what you just said, but I think we should at least mention, though, that I think the Patriots had themselves a good week. Like, on the whole, a good week. Yes, the backup quarterback thing is a problem. Yes, the offensive line is a real problem, Mike. That unit still sucks. That being said, they won Wednesday's practice. They lost Thursday's practice. That's a split with a 14-win team from last year. I'm not saying it's all perfect, but here's what I take away from this week. Despite the offensive line struggles, which undeniably are a massive issue and will hold this team back, the reporting was that Drake May looked good despite the line. That's good. Drake May, to me, and Alex Barth said this on midday, and I think it's important to mention, it feels like he's starting to show some signs that he might be able to elevate the team around him. Are their skill position players great? No. Are they the worst in the league? Probably not. I think this was a good week overall for the Patriots because it felt like they had their down moments, no doubt about it. But it felt like they had their up moments, too, against a team that I think we all would definitively say is better than them. A team that has a really good defensive coordinator that I think all of us respect here in town, and Brian Flores. They do some exotic things. That Vikings team won 14 games last year, and it doesn't feel like the Patriots got blown off the field for the full week. There were moments where they lost, sure. Is that, a state of where they are that I'm happy that they just didn't kind of suck? Yeah, it does say where they've been in the last few years. But you know what, guys? I'll take it. Baby steps, and we should acknowledge that a draw with the Vikings, which is what these two joint practices were, that's a win for the Patriots given where they are at.
Yeah, Murray, did you write that line down?
Yeah. What was it again?
I was happy they just didn't kind of suck.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly how I feel as a Patriots fan.
Given where they've been, we should be happy with that. Oh, how far we've fallen.
Seriously, folks, expect more. There's just too many examples in the NFL. It's fairly routine. About 20% of the time, and we've given you the raw data, I'll give it to you again, about 1 in 5 teams that finish dead last or second to dead last in the NFL. So a bottom 4 team, when you include all the ties and all that, who the next year make the playoffs. It happens all the time. Don't settle for we don't just kind of suck, so I'm happy. Like, that would be pathetic if that's what we're dealing with here.
They have really sucked, though. That's the thing. And I have a hard time imagining them going from not just suck,
why not?
Really suck,
Everyone does it.
To being a playoff team. Everyone does it. You just said 1 in 5. So actually 4 out of 5 don't, Mike.
20
as you just
plus,
said.
it's like 22%. Okay. I'll give it to you. That's a huge number.
I'll take the 78% in that regard.
Well, that's sad. You going to settle just to be the Jags? Go from suck to suck to suck to suck?
That's what I just said. I don't think they're going to be the Jags this year.
I thought these guys, I thought the Crafts were better. I thought the organization was better. I thought it was a cut above.
I never said that.
We're just going to be the Browns and the Bengals and these teams that just suck and suck and suck and suck and suck?
No, I think they're better than that. I think they're an 8-win team. I'll take that.
Okay,
Based on where they were at.
That's sniffing the playoffs, and we're talking about the same thing.